Am I live?
You're live.
Okay. Good day, viewers. Good day, good afternoon, good morning, depending on your time zone. It's another wonderful edition today. My name is Congress, the messenger of the Kaka that is gathering the elect of God. This end time scenario, like always, is going to be another full-packed edition today. I understand the topic of today is the implication, the recall of the herdsmen from the southern part of Nigeria to the northern part of Nigeria, according to the Northern Elders and all the coalition group, including the Northern Governors Forum and others. So we are going to examine the dangers ahead on this particular topical issue. Before I do anything, I will give glory to the Lord Almighty God, our Lord Jesus Christ, who sent me. I greet you in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. The Bible said that the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they must have life and that they must have it more abundant. That is our Lord Jesus Christ in John 10:10. We pray today that the Lord Jesus Christ will give us life more abundantly, because we're encountering a very big danger, very serious danger ahead. And we pray that God will give us an insight into what the devil has divined for his people, because we are on the last countdown to the jihad. But by the grace of God, they will not succeed in their plan by the grace and the power of our Lord Jesus Christ. I would like to start with this quote. I'd like to start with this quote as I go ahead. This quote is by the Nobel laureate, Wole Soyinka. He says, "Where fast exist and attainable, it becomes a public duty to use them as nails digging deep into the coffin of liars." This is Professor Wole Soyinka in Benders Duties from History. We are going to explore in-depth revelation. And everything I will state in this place will be based on facts, and people will judge me by facts. All my pronouncements are not synthetic. People think it's synthetic. It's not synthetic. These are natural thoughts, say the Lord. So the moment you came to the revelations of what I'm exposing in this international network, the better for you. We are not on an ego trip. These are very serious issues. Jesus did not die for the whole people of the world. My message is not for the whole people of the world. I am speaking to the very egos of our Lord Jesus Christ. That is why I say my message is the message of the Kaka that is gathering the ego. So at times when I go and see the rubbish people write on the comment section of the thing, we are not on an ego trip. You understand me? You better take the message that I am delivering so that you will use it and escape what has been planned for you. If you are looking at it and you think this is the work of man, you are wasting your time and you get into a lot of problems. You understand me? So going straight to the point, I will equally say my own quote. This is my quote, I'm pronouncing it. It says, "Truth have one unique advantage over falsehood. Anytime it steps out, it wears armor of majesty and magnificence. Falsehood alongside it will always wear the inglorious badge of odium, shame, and defeat. My people perish for lack of knowledge, means the light, which is knowledge, is the force that reveals the contents and secrets of darkness. Once that light shines on darkness, the power of darkness is removed, as the hidden contents of darkness are revealed, and people are saved." This is my continuation of the week magazine of April 2003 in the dangers allowed on the Nigerian nation, the national ID card scheme, a game of theft. And that is exactly what I'm going to do here, to expose what lies ahead for you people, so that you will really understand where we are in. And before I go into exposition, I want to take it from a dimension from back, so that you people can actually understand where we are going in this particular edition. So going back, let us analyze the sequence, because I'm trying to walk us back into the past and then bring us into the future for us to have a realistic understanding of where we are in. Because I said in the last comment that the issue of Biafran realization is almost plus zero. The chances of the Fulani Herdsmen succeeding in their invasion of the Biafran territory is 99 plus. 99 plus chances of success. But today, by the power of God, we are going to reverse it. And the chances of our getting Biafra will be 99.9%. And their chances of overrunning us will be 0 and 0 plus. By the power of the nation that I will debate today in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. So let me go through straight to the point that I'm going to actually get us out of this trap and make us to hold captivity captive and reverse and say Purim to what they have planned has happened during the time of Queen Esther. It is going to be Purim against them. That evil they plan for, it will come upon them in the name of our Lord Jesus. This is what they tell you when you look at Buhari. You look at it, more than 7,000 Nigerians killed under Buhari in the last 1 year alone. And when you ask what is happening in Nigeria, more than this have been killed. And the government is not doing anything about it. So now, before we get down, look at another news report. They say Herdsmen Boko Haram orders killed 25,700 before Nigeria. And Buhari, the same Buhari is telling you that the people who are talking about security problem in Nigeria today are not patriotic Nigerians. That will show us the nation that Buhari have in mind. Is it this Nigeria he's talking about? Or is it another word that we don't know that he's talking about? Now, let us go back to the genesis of where this thing started. I told you this thing was ordered by the by Obama's administration. I will not go into that today because it's a very long process. If we are going to go into it more than 1 hour, we will not achieve, we will not finish it. So Obama's administration ordered the jihad through the of John Kerry in Sokoto, Kuti made in Sokoto. So this jihad has been ongoing. And let me bring the African dimension of it, how they made it. I've made this statement last time, but let me just recap it. Let me just bring it back so that people will understand what I'm talking about. It's a Nigerian pipeline plan. That is point of June 11, 2018. It's a Morocco and Nigeria have agreed a cooperation plan to press on with a proposed pipeline transporting gas to the North African kingdom along the Atlantic coast. King Mohammed VI and President Muhammadu Buhari on Sunday oversaw the signing of the accord in Rabat, detailing the way forward for the mega project first agreed in 2016. Morocco's map news agency reported the two countries are looking to build an extension to Morocco of a pipeline that had been pumping gas from resource-rich southern Nigeria to Benin, Togo, and Ghana since 2010. For economic, political, legal, and security reasons, the choice was made for a combined offshore to offshore route, a statement said. The proposed pipeline to be built in several phases will measure some 5,660 kilometers, which is 3,500 miles, and respond to the growing needs of the transit countries and Europe over the next 25 years. The next step will be to sound out countries around the region and customers in Europe, and to talk to industrial leaders about funding the project. They released a plan for a pipeline to take Nigerian vast gas resources to North Africa have long been mooted. Algeria had talked with Nigeria as far back as 2002 for a similar pipeline crossing the Sahel region, but the project, major oil exporter Nigeria, has huge untapped gas resources, the largest proven reserve in Africa and the 7th largest globally. Morocco has over the past few years been on a diplomatic offensive to broaden its influence and around Africa, rejoining the African Union in 2017, warming up ties with English-speaking countries. Statement released by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on media and publicity, Shehu Gaba, read in part the feasibility study on the agreement of the pipeline, which was signed by the group general manager, Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, Mr. Farouk Gaba, and Mrs. Aminu Benkodra, Director General of the National Office of Hydrocarbon and Mines, will be concluded by July 2018. That one has been concluded already. The construction of the pipeline will be fed and based on increasing needs of the countries cross and Europe for the period of 25 years. Now, what is it? Because I'm breaking this down to what is happening in Nigeria today and the alert and the threat of that was issued, that the South, Northerners in the South should come back home. I'm breaking it down. What they are saying is that for the next 25 years, this thing is crossing about 28 African countries. All these countries that this gas will cross, this pipeline will cross, for 25 years, they are going to have Nigerian gas free of charge. And what is their own, what are they going to give in return? The return of what they will give, both Morocco and Europe, and the European countries, they will have Nigerian gas for the next 25 years free of charge in return for their cooperation in liquidating the Biafrans. So now, in pursuit of this particular issue, Buhari and the Moroccan king signed an agreement. And that agreement is still the same thing that led Buhari final journey to the OIC. The meeting, the meeting he went to, immediately he was warning. And this is the main agreement. And this agreement is signed with the Moroccan king is the same thing they did with the OIC. It is Buhari Moroccan king expressed concern about terrorism extremism. This is in June 11, 2018. It is President Muhammad Buhari and the king of Morocco, King Mohammed VI, on Monday raised concern about violent extremism, terrorism, and other security challenges in Africa. They have therefore agreed to collaborate in order to combat radicalization on the continent and beyond. These were contained in a joint communique made available by the presidency on Monday at the end of Buhari's two-day official visit to Morocco. The communique read in part, the two heads of state in the spirit of the holy month of Ramadan underscore their commitment to moderation, tolerance, and peaceful coexistence as taught by Islam. They expressed deep concern about violent extremism, terrorism, and the persistence of security threats in Africa. They affirmed their resolve to strengthen cooperation in efforts to combat radicalization in Africa and beyond. They communicated that King Mohammed VI congratulated His Excellency Buhari for his leadership in the regional initiative against terrorism in the Lake region and commended his efforts in the fight against corruption and his role as the African Union anti-corruption champion. He stated further that Buhari's visit reinforced the positive bilateral relationship between Morocco and Nigeria since the king visit to Abuja in October 2016. The Moroccan king and Buhari affirmed their willingness to create a model of South-South cooperation. And I'm quoting them. In this connection, and would on the significant progress made various areas of cooperation such as agriculture, fertilizer production, energy, infrastructure, and mining. His Majesty King Mohammed VI and His Excellency President Buhari noted with satisfaction the milestone achieved and underscored their commitment to the regional gas pipeline, which will connect Nigeria gas resources, those of West African countries and Morocco, thereby fostering integration and development of countries in the West African region. The two heads of state also noted progress made in the areas of other bilateral cooperation as concluded by the agreement between OTP of Morocco and the Fertilizer Production and Suppliers Association of Nigeria to invest in fertilizer production, and the Memorandum of Understanding between OTP and the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority on the establishment of a basic chemical platform significantly to develop a significant ammonia population plan. Now, look at the interpretation of the communique they made. Look at that. Look at so. So in pursuit of this particular agreement, of this pipeline that they want to build from Nigeria to Morocco, and the promise they gave to other West African countries, to 8 African countries and others. The final agreement that they have, where they express their cooperation and the essence of that cooperation, is what I want to read to you from the Punch of June 24, 2018. It's a federal government seeks with 8 countries help to stop ISIS and others. This thing is the reason why Nigerians are being killed in South Africa. And if you take what is happening today, know that there is a rise in the killing of Biafrans, not Nigeria, in the killing of Biafrans all over West Africa, all over Africa, and even other foreign nations. And these are things that will happen in other foreign nations very, very soon. The reason is because of this agreement that they have. Now, it's a federal government seeks with 8 countries here to stop ISIS and others. This is Punch of June 24, 2018. It said the federal government, through the Ministry of Defense, is currently perfecting strategies in collaboration with defense ministries of the 8 African states to establish a counter-terrorism force. The force is expected to tackle terrorist groups in the Saharan region, particularly the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria fighters and Boko Haram. Don't mind them. What they are talking about is Biafra. So this one, they are putting Iraq, this one. Those countries are more people than Nigeria. So they are talking about Biafra and all those countries. It said the resolution was contained in a communique tagged Abuja Declaration, issued after a meeting of the defense ministers in Abuja on Wednesday to Friday to seek regional cooperation towards combating ISIS and other terrorist groups. In the Abuja Declaration, a copy of which was obtained by our correspondent on Saturday, the defense ministers said they were strongly concerned by development in Libya. I want you to listen to the countries they mentioned. Development in Libya, Mali, Central African Republic, Somalia, the Sahel, and Lake Chad Basin, characterized by crisis and terrorist group activities. Check these countries, compare them with Nigeria. You find out that these countries are heavily compared with Nigeria. It's a Nigerian Minister of Defense, Man Sudan Ali, said the meeting would submit its recommendation to the Conference of Heads of State and Government onward implementation, noting that it will not be talked alone as usual. Part of the declaration reads, I want you to listen to part of the declaration. It said the Ministers of Defense of member countries of the Committee of Sahara State Meetings in Abuja are combined that security in Sahara area is a major concern. We are concerned by the regional upsurge and expansion of terrorist activities in parts of the Sahel and Sahel region. We have decided to intensify bilateral, multilateral, and sub-regional security and military cooperation among member states. We have agreed on the following measures, which we will submit to the Conference of Heads of State and Government. Now, I want you to listen, and that is exactly what is happening today. There will be a confirmation, there will be a continuation of the fight against residual mercenaries and foreign combatants in the region. All these residual mercenaries and foreign combatants are all these like Sadid of Ogo, Polo, IPOP members and others. That's what they are calling them. It says we agreed on the call for the rapid opening of the Sahel-Saharan Counter-Terrorism Center with a view to accelerating cooperation in the various areas relating to the fight against terrorism. We will support original initiatives in the fight against terrorism. We will also support the implementation of strategies. I want you to listen. Support the implementation of strategies for the resettlement and return of conflict-displaced persons, with particular emphasis on the socio-economic reconstruction of affected communities. The defense minister also agreed that every community would implement national plans on counter-terrorism and accompany them with, I want people to listen, demobilization, rehabilitation, and integration program. This is the reason, this particular thing, what does it mean? It means that now that they are committing their jihad and others, anywhere you are in Africa, they demobilize you. That is why when you go to South Africa, look at the rising killing of Nigerians. Everywhere you go, look at the killings of Nigerians everywhere. And the government did not do anything. Are they doing anything about it? Look at the girl that carried cocaine with the Arab boys, Zainab and Ibrahim or what, to Saudi Arabia. You saw what the Nigerian government did, how they rescued those people. Under 3 days, you saw the emissaries to work our foreign diplomats and all that. What they did, and they claim that the cocaine was planted, that the drug was planted by some people in Kano and others. Which was anyway. But the African government doing anything about it. Nigerian government has not done anything about it. And with impunity, South African government and other African countries, they are killing Nigerians. Why are they killing them? Because of this agreement. They have been promised Nigerian gas free of charge for the next 25 years. In exchange, that they will help to destroy the Biafrans, destroy all of them, remove the trade that they put, and demobilize them. So anywhere you are, they will kill you. So meanwhile, the defense headquarters in Abuja has said its findings revealed that the Abanawi faction of the Boko Haram terrorists pledged allegiance to the ISIS fighters in 2016 after Operation Lafiya Dosu in the North Africa dislodged them from the Sambisa forest area. I don't want to go into Abanawi and all that now because I have a lot of things to do. I have told you before, Obasanjo himself was the one who formed Boko Haram, and they were the ones who kidnapped the Chibok girl. That is a long story. I don't want to go into that so that we don't distract ourselves. But I will produce evidences for whatever I say. If there is still time, when I finish with this threat that we are facing today, because their jihad is coming any moment from now. That is what people don't know. That jihad, they have already placed it. So I want to go back so that I bring us to the present situation of where we are, so that we can now follow up with other things. So I have shown you where they agreed with all the whole West African countries on how to demobilize the Biafran. If you end up, before I go forward, look at this document. It's about the killing in South Africa and other. Let me just read one thing just to substantiate it so that we can go on the other one. When it is a Xenophobic attack, fear gripped Nigerians around, fear gripped Nigerians abroad. This is Tribune of yesterday. It said the Center for Protection of Nigerians in the diaspora says many Nigerians living abroad are now in palpable fear as a result of xenophobic attacks, especially in South Africa. It's not only in South Africa, it's all over the place. It will go all over the world. It said the president of TPND, Elect Oyi, made the assessment on Thursday during the candlelight procession in honor of the same Nigerian insurance chief, Mrs. Elizabeth Ndubisi Chukwu, who was killed in a hotel in South Africa. The news agency of Nigeria now reports that the procession was held at the Liberty Bridge, Maryland, Lagos. Oji said that Nigerians deserve better treatment from the South African government away from the killing being experienced. The reason for this ugly incident was because the government of South Africa refused to act on those killings. It has got to the level that the woman killed was just visiting South Africa with this ugly trend. There is a need to speak out very shortly. Nigerians have been so good to their South African roots. No one is allowed to take another man's life. The killer should be made to face the full wrath of the law. I will also implore people to always check on their people living abroad, since we are now in the age of social media where contact can be made easy. He said, the presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, ACC, during the last general election, Omoyele Sowore, who attended the candlelight procession, urged the government to constitute a strong diplomatic team to meet with the countries involved. Obianuju was an industrious woman killed in South Africa in spite of the fact that she was not a resident. This type of brutality has been going on too long, too frequently, and we need to address it. Nigerians are daily getting killed almost every day. We need to be protected by our government and the government of the country where they reside in either legally or illegally. Government needs to constitute a strong diplomatic commitment to look into this issue of wanton killing to find a lasting solution. The truth is that most Nigerians are now living in palpable fear of attacks, especially in the South Africa, where they are experiencing xenophobic attacks, he said. Contributing Mofe Oyatogun of Star FM condemned the xenophobic attacks on Nigeria, adding that the killing of Ndubisi Chukwu should be, look at Ndubisi Chukwu, another Igbo boy, should be a wake-up call for the government. The people of South Africa have no reason for killing Nigeria. Most of they also have their people residing in Nigeria. One point I want to point out before I go to this thing, Nigeria should not kill South Africa. It is not a xenophobic attack. What we are witnessing is a gang. What we are witnessing is a gang of this agreed day of 25-year free supply of gas. They have their soldiers who are in everywhere, who are in Ghana, who are in everywhere, who already have broken into the list of all this type of and all that. They break into all those lists. Their job is to eliminate their sanctions anywhere they are all over the world. So if they are killing you in Ghana, you think it's Ghanaians that are killing you, you are wasting your time, it's not Ghanaians. They are killing you in South Africa, I think the South Africans are killing you. Most of the killings are not done by South Africans. They are done by, like, you come in Nigeria, you have Operation Popada. And they have Operation Popada, they have all those cliques all over Africa, all over the world. They are agents of beautiful evil forces. Americans, France, and others. These are they have international terrorist organizations, ISIS and others, that eliminating their flanks worldwide. So that is what is going on. Still coming down to what I'm saying. You say, I don't want to bother with too much going on, you know. Let me still go. Now, when you say, look at what, when Buhari came down from Morocco, when Buhari came down from his Morocco trip, this was what is media aid wrote. He said Buhari's Morocco trip to yield 18,000 jobs, presidency. That is point of Sunday, June of 2018. Let me just rush through the report before we can go on something. He said the presidency of Saturday stated that President Muhammad Buhari's recent official trip to Morocco will yield 18,000 new jobs, among other benefits for Nigeria. The senior special assistant to the president of media and publicity, Garba Shehu, disclosed this in a document titled President Buhari's visit to Morocco, 6 quick takeaways, which he made available to journalists. Shehu said the president who visited Morocco between June 10 and 11 signed many memorandums of understanding and agreement that would produce a new job and many others. He said the development reaffirmed the administration's commitment to making a difference by linking foreign policy directly to Nigerian economic interests. He noted that if the federal government's program, I want you to listen, he noted that if the federal government program of disarmament, demobilization, and reintegration of former agitators in the Niger Delta as part of the amnesty program brought calmness to the country at its commencement, if the disarmament and rehabilitation of 30,000 agitators will do so much for the nation, how far would 18,000 skilled and unskilled new jobs go towards cementing that peace? While analysts take their time to assimilate and give us the answer as to how much good the new jobs will bring, President Buhari, that is the end of the quote. It makes no sense. Look at the same terms he's using. Those are the same terms that they are using in that agreement of 28 Africa, seeking for help from 28 African defense minister for liquidation. That was in this agreement that 100 billion was paid to Mietiala. What is it? Go to communities in Plateau, go to communities in Benue State. Herdsmen are renaming all those communities. They bond there. What are they? Those money, those funds they are making available to them funds for reintegration. Is this coalition that are providing the funds? That is why when they go to anywhere they go, they butcher you, they remove the indigenous of that place, take them away, kill them, burn their houses, so that they will never return again. When they're in the IDP camp, they kill them in the IDP camp, so that nobody will come to ask for their land again. And then funds are being made available for the settlement. That is what it is talking about. But our people don't know these things. They have planned it for a very long time. So I'm still going, because why I'm doing all these things is this. I always like to produce documents to back up whatever I'm telling, so that people can actually understand where we are going. Now look at it. Even this jihad, you know, like what we are talking all these times we are talking about. This year channel, don't go anywhere. This year channel have exposed a lot of things. There have been other plans. They have always been plotting, but because of the revelations that we make, when they plot, we demobilize them. When they plot, we demobilize them. All these things you are saying, like 2 days ago or something like that, I had when I was listening to Radio Biafra and others, when I think I don't know what it is, then Onibe or something like that. They were talking about using Gamarin 20 to poison cows and other. So when the international community know what is happening, they will think that Biafrans are the troublemakers, that they are plotting to poison. So that when Nigeria starts to poison them, it will be justified. It's not so. The federal government were the first to initiate poisoning of their own citizens here. But because of the efforts I made last time, they beat a retreat. And that was how Sniper came in. The Sniper, they started poisoning beans and other. Look at this report. I want to read this report through the Ministry of Agriculture, through all global. I want to read this report. This report is a Nigerian government to shut down land borders. I want people to listen. This was on June 18, 2018. Many people carried it. Now let me read the press report of that interview of that report so that you understand what I'm saying. It said the federal government has said that they will shut down land borders between Nigeria and the neighboring country in a few days' time to avoid smuggling of foreign rights into the country. That time when I did this message, I told them it's Benin Republic. And eventually, some days later, it was proven to be Benin Republic. I want people to listen when this thing happened. It was in June of 2018. It said the Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development made the disclosure on Monday. While speaking with youth in a leadership clinic under the auspices of Guardians of the Nation International, Owe, who did not mention the particular country and border, said that shutting the borders had become necessary to encourage local production and sustain the economy of the country. The minister said a neighboring country was bent on destroying the economy of the country and discouraging local production of rice. Hence, the need to shut down the border. Our other problem is smuggling. I'm putting away. As we speak, a neighbor of ours is importing more rice than China is importing. They do not eat parboiled rice. They eat white rice. They use their posts to try and damage our economy. I am telling you now because in a few days, you will hear the border has been shut. We are going to shut it to protect you, to protect us, and to protect our economy. You will start seeing all sorts of negative things on the internet. Let me tell you why we need to shut the border. I grow rice. I was the first Nigerian to make rice free of stones. If you plant rice in a certain place, in a certain parcel of land, some poisonous materials get into the rice. There are three kinds of water in their natural state. There is fresh water from the river, there is fresh water from the river, salt water from the sea, and brackish water. If you go to the delta in many countries, in Southeast Asia, where they grow the rice, if you plant rice in the same place like 4 to 6 years continuously, the quantum of arsenic begins to increase. And arsenic causes cancer. And that is what they are dumping for us. Some people say they prefer that rice because they are very sophisticated. Welcome to poison, Obo. You don't know what Obo said here. He said that the federal government in 2 years reduced rice importation by 95% and increased the number of rice farmers from 5 million to 30 million. The minister said that states like Anambra, Ebonyi, Kebbi, Jigawa, we are doing well in rice production. We just have to work hard, you to prosperity. Otherwise, this country will not grow. My wish for you is to have a better time that we had. Arsenic, the chemical element of an atomic number 33. What is arsenic? Arsenic is poison. What is Obo say? Look at what Obo said. Look at what Obo literally said. He said to Obo, that look at what he said. He did. Look at what he said. Let me interpret what Obo said here. He said, look at it. I was the first Nigerian to make rice free of food. If you plant rice in certain parts of land, after some time, some poisonous materials get into the rice. There are 3 kinds of water in their natural state. There are fresh water from the river, salt water from the sea, and brackish water. If you go to the delta in many countries, what is referring to here is Niger Delta. In Southeast Asia, if you go to the delta in Southeast, that is what it's telling. If you go to the delta, what is referring to is Niger Delta in Biafra land, where they grow rice. If you plant rice in the same place like 4 to 6 years continuously, the quantum of arsenic begins to increase, and the arsenic causes cancer. And that is what they are dumping for us. What is saying? All those ammonia acids they are importing from they are importing from Morocco and others. This was the instruction for those people to go and pour those ammonias into our waters in Biafra land. But people don't know. When we blow this explode, what did they do? They backed up. And that was when the outside started putting snipper, using snipper. Do you know the cost of snipper? The cost of snipper is even more than the cost of the bean that they are telling. That was the origin of, based on this obey something, that was the origin of using snipper to do their beans. Now to substantiate what I'm saying, the time Lambert that they said they will close, did they close it? Now look at the subsequent reports that follow. After what I said, because some people may say it's just, I'm just reading things to them. It's not. The time government that said they will close land border. Look at what happened. It's a Nigerian government. I'm coming. Let me show you. Look at it. It's a federal government moved to dismantle checking points on Benin, Nigerian highway. The time government, this is independent of April 16. The time government that said that they are going to shut down land border, all of a sudden, they now change when their plan was exposed. They now say that they are going to dismantle the checking point. Now look at the news report. It says Geoffrey Onyema, Minister of Foreign Affairs, says the federal government has set up a presidential task force to dismantle all checking points on the Nigeria-Benin route to encourage trade and regional integration. Can you imagine? The same government that said that they are going to shut down land border to checkmate rights in protection and all that, like smuggling, all of a sudden they are now telling you that they are going to dismantle all the whole checking points. Onyema said this on Monday in Abuja when members of ECOWAS Trade Liberalization Scheme Task Force at the border of member states paid him a courtesy visit. The ELTA Task Force, led by its spokesperson, Ken Okoha, also gave the report of fish findings on activities across the borders along the Lagos to Benin route and factors impeding free trade in the region. The minister said that the presidential task force on checking points, which would be inaugurated soon, was dismantled in the office of the secretary to the government of the federation. No, the minister said that the presidential task force on checking points, which would be inaugurated soon, was domiciled in the office of the secretary to the government of the federation. The government has set up a task force to address the checking point issue. Clearly, Mr. President has given a directive to remove all checking points. As soon as this is implemented, we will have some progress in that area. The task force will give recommendations on dismantling different checking points along the border route, and it will get stakeholders involved. Government has also set up a steering committee of the stakeholders to come together to address the challenge. He said, Onyema expressed the determination of President Buhari, who is the Southwestern flank. They will have a free flank. Boko Haram and ISIS are already in our flank. When Buhari came in, what did they tell us? They told us that cows are happy. Cows are happy for Buhari's victory. A country that values cows more than human beings, they gave Buhari cow, a gift of cow. That was what me Tiala gave to Buhari. Look at it. It's a vanguard of mine, 2019. Mr. Bello Abdullahi Badajo, National President of Mieti Allah, a cultural hub. Over his political opponent in the last presidential election conducted by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. Only this one alone is treason. Animals are happy over human beings. That is the same Buhari, who went, Nigerians have forgotten, collected $1 billion that operation. He said he's using it to fight Boko Haram and banditry and others. What has happened to the money? What has happened to Boko Haram? You capture them, you release them, you free them. The team went and paid how much? $5 billion to Kaduna for miracle in Kaduna, for ranching or whatever they call it. After that, he paid them $100 billion. And now you are forcing people again through Luga that they must bring their land or they die. I'm showing you the connection. A president that was sworn into office to do human beings. Now he is killing animals. And I've told you the origin of this thing. And people think I'm playing. Well, we shall see what happens. Now, even the Jumati prayer, Buhari don't go to national mosque again. Asolok have been converted into a complete Muslim outfit. You understand me? Look at it. It's in pursuit of this thing that the Jordanian king donated more than 200 armored vehicles to Buhari, and they pledged for more. Some of those armored vehicles, you see them, written on them is Sultanate of Sokoto. You understand me? Now look at it. Let us look at the charter of the Islamic Organization of Islamic Cooperation. I told you when Buhari was sworn in, Buhari did not take the oath of office as a Nigerian president. I told you that he took that oath of office. He took the oath of office as the president of the Islamic Republic of Nigeria. Nigeria is already an Islamic Republic. Buhari himself did not say anything the day he was inaugurated, but he went to Saudi Arabia, he went all the way to where he meeting. That is where he went to tell Nigeria where to support Islamic bonds that are being used to build road in the southeast, that they will use it to build the second Niger bridge. That is and the water bill. And that water bill, we are going to come to it because that is one of the fastest bills that they are going to pass when that is one of the fastest bills that they are going to pass. But because of lack of chance, let me read one document to you. There's one document I want to read to you. Because of lack of chance, I want to read one document to you. You are talking about issuing quick notice. Now, look at the document I want to read. Before that quick notice was issued, let me show you why they issued that quick notice. And let me show you why they asked Northerners to come back. I want people to listen to this report. It's a banditry. Federal government orders Northern monarchs to begin community policing, which is May 1, 2019. I want you to listen to what I'm saying. Ordered was Northern monarchs, Northern traditional rulers. Listen to this report. Our people living in the north, they have earmarked, they know all where you live, and they're going to liquidate you. Now, listen, the federal government has directed traditional rulers in the north to start community policing and establish local security councils in their domain to tackle banditry and other security crises in the region. The Minister of Defense, Monsudan Ali, who met with the expanded Executive Council of the Northern Traditional Rulers at the Ariwa House in Kaduna State on Tuesday, noted that the government needed community policing in their various domains so that more information about criminal elements can be obtained in real time. Criminal elements are Biafrans living in the north. It said the council is headed by the Sultan of Sokoto. I've told you. The council is headed by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar. I'm telling you, the 7, go and look at the 7 lean cows swallowing the 7 fat cows. the 7 northwestern states, swallowing the 7 Igbo-speaking states of Nigeria. That is the jihad that you are seeing, that is already on. The council is headed by the Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar. In his address obtained by one of our correspondents after the event, Dan Ali warned the emir and other rulers about catching aspersions on security agencies, adding that this would complicate security issues and slow down the tempo of operation. He said some of the potent security threats that can truncate relative peace include banditry, hostage taking, and cattle rustling. These ugly trends are on a daily basis, claiming lives and property of citizens, have continued to be sources of concern and fear to our citizens. There is need for recruitment of sufficient local informants who will be providing vital intelligence on the activities of the bandits. Who are the bandits? The Biafra, including their location, strength, leadership, and sponsors, among others. Additionally, infiltration and penetration of the group will go a long way in providing meaningful insight into how to solve the problem. I hope Nigerians are listening. Of course, the community leaders who are living with the people are in the know of this bandits. Bandits are Biafran. They know the place of their armor, their weapons, their fire, their leadership strength, among others. I therefore request you to reactivate the traditional community policing in their various domains so that more information about criminal elements can be obtained in real time in this regard. There is the need for the establishment of a local government security council. Have you seen it? So, why are they telling you? The last document I would like to read in this effect. Look at it. It says, Buhari, we will hold you responsible for killing of herdsmen in southern Nigeria, coalition of northern. This is Sahara Reporter of July 19, 2019. It said the coalition of northern group, TNC, has said that Muhammad Buhari and his government will be held responsible should any northerner fall victim of the consequences of the concern they raised about the safety of Fulani herdsmen in the southern part of the country. It said Buhari has told Fulani herdsmen in the southern part of the country to ignore northern elder statesmen, urging them to leave certain parts of the country. However, not convinced by assurance of safety from the presidential spokesman, Abdul Aziz Suleiman said in a statement made available in Abuja that while they welcomed the assurance by the president, they were not oblivious of the fact that the lives of their kinsmen are not secure in the southern part of the country. You don't know that that is the signal to start their jihad. They told their people in the south, if you feel you are not protected, relocate to the north. Do you know what they are saying? All their whole armed terrorists, they are in the southeast. The ones that have gone to start the jihad, they are in the southeast. So this directive is to their civilians. It's a signal to their civilians, the weak ones, to leave the south. So that what will remain in the south will be their fighters. Will be their fighters. That is what is changed. That is what they are running here. And immediately this thing happened. Look at what happened. What people don't know is that they are in alliance with the Yoruba. So their jihad must take place. Our people should start an international campaign for the removal of the ICC president. Immediately, they should ask for that man to be removed. So that another person will come in and try Buhari as a terrorist. All these things we are saying, by the time, why have Buhari not changed his military chief? Nigerians, if you want to survive this thing, tell Buhari immediately to change the service chief today. Force him to change it. All those service chiefs, both Buhari, Buratai, all of them, Western powers that plotted this thing have already plotted to eliminate them. I'm telling you honestly, all of them, that they want to kill all of them. Immediately they finish using them to carry out the jihad. If they are protecting against all Jews of in Aba, but they cannot protect and tell Buhari, change your service chief. Change your service chief. If you don't protect and tell Buhari to change the service chief now, you are offering it. Americans, we in America, we have to write to American Senate to probe these people that also did jihad, which is Barack Obama's administration. We have to start a worldwide campaign for the removal of that man at ICC. We have to raise the awareness that any killing in Nigeria because in the next or less because of this issue, in less than 1 week, at the end of that, they are attacking Nigeria. They are going to run down everybody. They are going to run down everybody. So anything that happens, the American government will be held responsible for any killing in Biafra land. And our people, it's not a group something, it's not a big group something. They should form small groupings, small groupings. It is going to be mad, mutual assured destruction. The Yorubas are in cooperation with the outsiders. If they are not in cooperation with the outsiders, now everybody is ready. Why don't they change their service chief? Why is Obasanjo crying? He's not crying. They are all in cooperation. Why is the southern governors? Why have they only visited Buhari 2 times? All the whole southwest governors, they are telling the herdsmen, no, we are not against you. Why? They are now focusing, telling them it's Igbo they are going to kill. Why did Tinubu tell them that those who kidnap are Igbo, that is Ivan? Why is he mentioning Ivan? Did you tell the world that Daura and Co kidnapped the Dabchi jet under Buhari's instruction? The money they paid them, the money they paid for the release of that student, is it not in Daura's account? Does the Israeli government not reveal the secret? Have Daura been prosecuted for invading the National Assembly? Has he been tried for the kidnap of that guy? Where is Lia Sharibu? So a lot of things are happening in this country that our people don't know. Our people get ready. The jihad is here. They cannot meet it. They are in alignment with the Yorubas. So what we're going to do, since it is like that, let us team up with the people of Benue. Then too, and tell Buhari, change their service chief today. These are foreigners, they are bandits. Bandits, we have seen what happened. Let me read one last document to you. I want to read one last document to you, if time permits. Let me tell you where you're headed to, because you're finished. Let me tell you, exactly, just one thing I want to read. Now look at this thing. It's, I want to read something that, let me read it first, because of time. This Buhari ADC, question they asked him. Here they go. It says, now, why was the government of Buhari after Umaru Diko? Let us agree Danjuma had scores to settle with Buhari. Danjuma was not part of the Buhari government after all. It said, well, you get how we did it in the write-up. But why? Nobody wants insecurity. And Diko was threatening us too much with words like they were going to destabilize us, they were going to attack us. We were not very popular too. And you know, you will always want to do something that will judge you, your popularity rating, to get Nigerians to rally around us, and we needed that. Then he said, you said it was calculated to show up your popularity rating. Why was the regime not popular in your estimation? He said, one, the regime came in at the time it was required, definitely, but I told you, we planned and executed a military coup d'etat, which was very successful, except for the loss of Brigadier Bako. There was no casualty anywhere at any level. But the problem was that we, on our own part, we are able to execute it as we planned it. But what happened after was frustrating. We were expecting some people to prepare some blueprints for the running of the government, but they did not. Now, it is who are these people? It is, we commissioned Dr. Mamotuko and Maman Daura. Yeah, these were the people we were expecting to prepare the blueprint for us, because they were choosing people who might have some friends who will help us, because you see, you could not expose your plan to everybody. So we had to select few people we would trust and let them know what we are doing so that they can help us. These were the people that I knew. I do not know whether there were others. and they failed to prepare it. And the question, and they failed to prepare it. He said they did not do it. We had no blueprint. That was what he said. So by the time we took over government, we didn't know what to do with the government. I told you we had to think of how we were going to do it. The enormity of the atrocity committed during the civilian regime was targeted. He said they have no blueprint. And who was the man showing this? Look at you. How much have Buhari borrowed up to today? Where is the economy today? Look at the man they confirmed as CGN, Chief Justice of the Federation. A man that drives an aeroplane instead of flying an aeroplane. Have you seen where you are today? Look at the one Senate confirmed Buhari nominee rejected in 2016. 2016, a man that was rejected in 2016 for low academic qualification. So you don't need me to tell you where you already headed. You are already finished. I told you Buhari did not win this election. There is than two. Fulani, they are just always making links. They don't have conscience. These people are animals. Wickedness is a question of determination. This war you are going to fight will be mad. Mutada shot the short term. Fight, don't, if you meet the Yorubas, you are finished. Use the Yorubas to cover your head. When I expose the button, just fight it. If you allow the Yorubas to escape, let the war be in Yoruba land. Make sure you destroy Abuja. Make sure you dismantle Lagos. As I'm telling you, if you meet it, you are all finished. Wickedness is a matter of determination. When a man and his God confront a mountain, impossibility runs away. When a man and his God confront a mountain, impossibility diminishes. You cannot miss to fight this war. This war, let our people in the diaspora start a judicial process that we link up with our people. Our people at home already conquered. There's nothing they can do. 300 people will deliver Biafra. That 300 people, what are you going to do? Take your target. You cannot be talking about Biafra and Dangote. They are carrying crude oil from Port to the north. Their tankers are already about what is it? Corn oil and all that. But all those things. You cannot be here. They are dismantling checking points all over the border. Then on the southeast, they are checking points. Remove those checking points. Don't go frontal. There are always people that cover them from the back. 2 or 3 people. If you want to attack them at the checking point, start from the back. Organize yourself into small groups. Carry out insurrections everywhere. When next I come, because I know time is not of essence, I will give you the full strategy of how we are going to dismantle and dismember this Nigeria. Because if we miss it, we're in trouble. Who are our enemies? I've told you. Look at all those people. When Moses was taking the children of Israel out of Egypt, they said he brought us out from the desert to kill us. They brought us out. Who are those talking? The Israelites. Who are those in Biafra today talking? These are Nigerians who own properties in Lagos and Abuja. Don't think they are with you. I'm telling you about the 4 Trojan houses. I made one A and B. It's 6 Trojan houses. I will deal with these 6 Trojan houses. Their politicians, their governors, their church leaders and others. And when I opened the secret of the church leaders, never attended any Yoruba man church again. If the Yoruba say they are not in support of what is happening, what is the population of the Fulani? Abatanjo is crying. I believe they have told Buhari to change the service chief. Now, if they are not in support, let them tell Buhari, change the service chief, rotate all the whole position, and let the whole political region be represented. All the activities the service chiefs are doing, are they not illegal activities? Have their tenure not expired? Have they not expired? The man in South Africa, how many days did it take him to form the president in South Africa? How many days did it take him to form his government? And you have a president who has ruled for 4 years up to now. He has not formed his government. Don't you know that you are dead? You must go and tell Buhari to come down. Buhari did not win any election. Don't let the tribunal deceive you. The tribunal, they can even make that case in the next 3 years. After 3 years, they give it I think we root again, finish 1 year, and root under 4 years, and you are finished. Then 2, these are foreign bandits. They are foreign bandits. What is the constitution they are talking about? What is the constitution that made Buhari to buy radio for a particular set of people, give them money, give them guns, and now the northwestern states are dialoguing with them. And people that use their money to buy their own radio, you are calling them terrorists. You are meeting with Boko Haram, you are releasing them, we are having meeting with Mieti Allah. Mieti Allah is telling you Igbo man cannot be president. Mieti Allah is telling you Atiku must be arrested. Mieti Allah is the one dictating the government. Look at Ndume. The newly confirmed new justice of Nigeria is talking about technicality. It was the technicality they used to remove Ndume. This is a man who wants to become the Senate of the country, the Senate President of the country. This is a man who gave Boko Haram the number of the Chief Justice of Nigeria, who had contact, telephone conversation 177 times with Boko Haram. So we are running a rock state with one mate, with himself, Ndume Konduga, under oath, revealed that they were in communication with Ndume. What happened? They used technicality to kill Ndume's case. They tell Chin there's nobody. They released him to Konduga. When they released Konduga, they tell Chin there was no witness. Then Ndume is free. Now you have a Senate president who is a Boko Haram terrorist. You have a president who is a Boko Haram terrorist. And we are here talking. Look at your governor, Iguanya. Iguanya is patron of Cattle Dealers Association, Nation of May 31, 2019. Their own governor, the Amalgamated Cattle Dealers Association of Nigeria, Enugu branch, has appointed Governor Ifeanyi Iguanya as his patron. The association said Iguanya has inspired with the people on that trying moment more than any previous government. A statement by the statesman, our YouTube, said the governor reviewed the livestock market, and I don't want to go into detail because we don't have any chance. You go and stage protest, go to your local assembly. They are using, now look at it, excuse me, I'm coming. Let me tell you what happened. I'm coming. Yerima, when you introduce Sharia, all these northern leaders, why are they not being tried under Sharia law? Why did they force Nigeria? They implemented Sharia and they are not tried under Sharia law. Why is this so? Look at what happened. Look at the question they asked Yerima when he introduced Sharia. I'm reading the report of Governor Ahmed Salima Yerima on September 2nd, September 2003. Look at in the question. He said, what happens if the Nigerian federal government, if the Nigerian federal state abolish the death penalty? Will Sharia law have to comply with that? Because they say in Sharia law, death penalty is in Sharia law. What did he say? Yerima responded, it is not possible because the majority of the members of the Nigerian National Assembly are Muslims. Not only the Northerners, we have a lot of Southerners who are Muslims. So I never think of what will happen because I know the law will not be passed by our National Assembly. Now, why are Muslims so in favor of the death penalty when a lot of countries now think it is a barbaric to kill somebody and have the state take revenge in that way? Yerima answered, well, because we believe that if you have a society that allows killing of human beings and just be imprisoned, you will find people ready to commit murder easily. But if you know that you are going to be killed, when you kill, you will think twice before you kill anybody. How many Boko Haram have you killed? How many herdsmen have you killed? You are looking at death, staring you in the face. Are you trees? Are you trees even when you are dead? Now look at the question again. It said, what about the idea that two wrongs don't make a right? It said, Yerima said, the definition of wrong is subjective. We have to define what is right and what is wrong. As far as I'm concerned, it is not wrong to kill somebody who kills. It is not wrong to kill somebody who kills. I'm your test. They are there implementing a set of laws in the north. They don't do India. They don't do this. They are using the same law. And you are looking action and reaction and equal and opposite. When there's an action and there's no reaction, the reaction stays. Nobody should blame them because you are not taking the loophole. Go to assembly, Tell them you don't want to seek out in the South. It is your right. Any governor that refuses to do what you want, go through your local assembly, tell them to impeach him. Block the whole government houses. All these governors, if your children don't take revenge upon you and destroy all of you, you see you, next 100 years in Biafra land, your generation will serve in the mortuary. You don't know what is going to happen. A lot of things are coming. So let me finish with the market. You say? Let me say. Now, what is Obasanjo saying on the implementation of Sharia? This criminality. He cannot be Chibok jail. Let him take me to court. If he doesn't take me to court, I will take him to court in America here. Yes, Sharibu's mother should take Obasanjo to court. We need Biafran experts. I will give them all the whole evidence. We have to deactivate Sharibu's case and kidnap Chibok jail. Their kidnappers are in America here. That is what will crumble Nigerian nation and other issues. What did Obasanjo say? Obasanjo on how Sharia nearly consumed Nigeria. This is what he said in the book, Making Africa Work. Look at what Obasanjo said. He said in that book, Obasanjo argued that Christian clergymen and leaders, both within and outside Nigeria, were calling on him to speak out on the new phenomenon of protest Sharia in states where there was a Muslim majority with substantial contingent of Christians too. Look at it, what he said. He said throughout this controversy, the only statement I made was to the fact that if the Sharia that the governor of Zamfara was starting was genuine, it will survive. It will survive and thrive. If not, it will fizzle out. This is the president of the country. This is what he told you. Then if it will fizzle out, why are you talking now? Why are you talking? He said, look at another question. Look at another question they asked Yerima. This is in 10 interview of November 15, 1999 by OSA director. He asked him, tell, some legal experts have argued that your declaration is unconstitutional and that Section 38 of the 1999 Constitution, which you quoted copiously, does not encourage the declaration of the state religion, but prescribes individual rights to any religion of his choice. So what is your reaction to this? Look at his reaction. He said, Sani, the Constitution specifically says that every person has the right to freedom of thought and religion, freedom to change their religion, either individually or in community with others, to preach and propagate. I am a Muslim, so I have the right, either individually or in community with others. Who are the community? The society, the state. That is what exactly I'm doing. The Constitution went further to provide that the state can create courts and provide jurisdiction of this court. Section 6 of Section 5, there is no limitation to the jurisdictions of this court. In the same Constitution, there is a section which provides that the state shall have power to make laws and order for the peace, progress, and development of their state. So whatever we feel as essential for the peace, progress, and development of the state can be done in line with the Constitution. You must follow the same process. State assemblies will pass laws for Southeasterners to be armed to defend themselves. This is an emergency situation. You must go and force your assemblies to pass the law, and you must carry arms to defend your territory. You must go on protest. Buhari should step down. Nobody voted for him. Nigeria have expired. Buhari went to court and said his biodata will not be released. So you mean you don't have a right to know who is the president? Look at the American independence speech. He said the American independence speech states entirely, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal and endowed with certain natural and inalienable rights, and most importantly, being of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And to protect this right, men set up government whose authority rests on their consent. And whenever a government ceases to do what it has set up for, its citizens have a right to change it or each other and put in place a new government or a new order that will provide for the safety and happiness of the people. Go through your local law and they're doing it, not do it. Our problem is leadership. We don't have leadership. How do I define leadership? My own personal definition of leadership is organized or orderly participatory. Leadership is a participatory, organized, and orderly movement of the people towards a focused goal with a direction provider at the helm as leader.
We have just 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute. 1 minute remaining.
And how we get out of this mess? Look at me and you talking. You have not come here to thank me. I thank you for. What are we doing? Participating. You are a leader in your own field. You're doing your work every day. Going everywhere. Stop risking your life. Crying for people. Taking the toll. Spending your own money. Doing everything. And the leader is here in the channel. That is leadership. Everybody should stand up. Take up mantle of leadership in your own area of profession. And I told you, if you miss God in this journey, you're wasting your time. Nigeria will not already collapse because it is going to prove that Jesus is God. In the next section, I will introduce a challenge so that we clear out all these habits about who is God and who is not God. It has taken us back. So these people that are coming, they are going to do this, they are going to do. In the next 2 days, they are going to attack you. Anywhere you are today, tell yourself, if these people come to attack me, what will I do to escape? Where will my family? Where are we going to meet? Every person, go back, do arrangement with your family. This is what happens if they come suddenly, because the two surprises they use is speed and trickery. In the middle of the night, they'll come with a motorcycle, they'll start to burn your house, they'll start to shoot everything. You shall like that situation. What will I do if they come? Go and have water. Take water, even there now. Take it contact in the remote village. Make sure every you see that they are here. What they are calling on Gaza is a situation. If they decide they must know where Gaza are. Not only that, they just, when they finish killing you, let me tell you, when they finish killing you, United Nations will go. That is not gone. And because of that, people.
Thank you very much.